Hello, hello. If you have been struggling in your business lately or clients have been coming in a little less frequently, you are in the right place. My name is Miki Wright, and I want to welcome you to Your Pricing Matters, where we talk about all things that have to do with business, with your pricing, and with building confidence. And I am here today with a wonderful special guest, Brandy Taylor. She is a marketing expert and also a beauty professional as well, and she has a fabulous podcast that is called the Business Beauty Network. And so definitely you want to hang around because we are going to dive into 5 explosive strategies to really captivate your clients in a slow market and keep them coming back and spending more in 2024. So let's just go right in. So welcome, Brandy.
Hey, thank you for having me, Mickey. I'm super excited to be here today.
Yes, and I want to just say to anyone who's watching, we are available for comments and your questions, so you can actually feel free to just drop them in the comment section. We'll see them, and if you'd like for us to know your name, you can just click. There's a little button there. We're on StreamYard, and it'll give us permission to see it. It's optional, but we'd love to call you by name. So yeah, I think both of us we've shared our talking to different people in the beauty industry who are some are thriving, some are doing phenomenal. They're overbooked. They're kind of like whoo this holiday season, and others are having a time. And so tell me some of the conversations that you've had around that.
Yes, I've been seeing a lot of my clients that are thriving, but also on the other side, a lot of them that maybe have not struggled in the past have been struggling in the last couple of years. People are changing the way they spend money.
Hmm.
And so some stylists have been stuck to keep clients continuously coming back and rebooking, as well as they've been like maybe feeling like they have to lower their prices in order to get people in the door or to increase their promotions and things of that nature. So those are some of the things I've been seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know how I feel about pricing. It's like that's usually not the answer. And so we think, it's like if we lower the price and, it's more affordable, that people will come. But I think that there may be some things that are missing. And from, the experience that we're creating for our clients. And we're going to talk about some of those things. It's like it's really a lot of times simple things and things that don't even really cost a lot of money, but it really can make a huge difference. So I see Kim Wilson and Simone Avery. Hi. It's like we're glad you're here. And so the first thing I wanted to talk about is, just kind of how do we level up our game? It's like we can get in routine. Sometimes we go in, we do the same thing, day in, day out. And sometimes we can get a little, maybe off kilter or a little laissez faire where
Hmm.
we just kind of going with the flow. So what are some things that you think, we could look at, how do we raise our game? How do we make it so it's more of an experience for the client and showcase our expertise at the same time, like how we can help them?
I think it's important that as service providers, we frequently like reevaluate the customer experience. Like, how are we? What type of experience is it from when they walk into the door,
Mhm.
until they check out with you? Like, what is that like? And the best way to kind of actually find out how you're doing in that area, honestly, is to survey the client, right? So you actually maybe need to have a way to find out and ask your clients. But let's talk about if you're one of those people that may be struggling. Maybe you have clients here and there, but it's just not how you would like it to be. You don't have the level of business that you would like. You're not as booked as you would like to be. You may want to like kind of evaluate those things. Okay, how can I enhance my customer experience? What can I do to stand out? And start pay attention to what people like about when they come into your salon or suite. What type of compliments do you get, right? Do people say, oh, it smells nice in here, I just love the way it smells when I come in here? Or do they feel welcome when they come in? Like, is it a
Mhm.
welcoming experience? But like, start thinking about those things. And I think sometimes we forget, and it just becomes like something we're doing. Oh, hey, how you doing? Okay, have a seat, bam, and this is this, and you're just doing a service. But you have to kind of remember that you want to, take care of your client. You want this is a service, that a beauty service, that a client is supposed to feel good when they leave your chair, right? So
Mm-hmm.
how can you enhance this experience so that they feel great all the way through the process? What are those little things that you can do?
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes those are things that may miss opportunities, I would say. Within the beauty industry, I see a lot where it's more transactional and they're
Mm-hmm.
not really trying to create an experience for the client.
Right, right. And sometimes we even extending an opportunity, I guess, for our clients to come back, or letting them know that we want them to come back. I know some years ago, it's like I went to one of the oil change places, and I don't really like going to them, but it's like I found this coupon and I needed my oil change, and it was like, okay, this is, a quick time I can run in and get it done. And I realized, like really the day after I had it done, it's like, do they even want me to come back? They didn't mention anything about, in 5,000 miles, you're going to need this done again. It's like, that's probably going to be about 4 months or so. It's like, we can set you up with an appointment, or here's, an offer to come back, here. But it's, the company's spending all this money on marketing, advertising to bring in new customers, but they're not focused on keeping the customers that they get. And so it just
Mhm.
felt like, wow. And I wonder how this translates to what we're doing on a day-to-day basis in our beauty businesses.
Definitely. And we've all been there where it's like you've had a service and you've never heard from that service provider again, whether it was for your car, whatever it was. We've
Right.
all been there, especially in the beauty industry. I've had a lot of experience that way. I got my hair done by a young lady, and it was just a particular type of style that I didn't get all the time, and I totally forgot her name and I couldn't remember,
Mm,
but I never heard from her again. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
I booked her online and paid a deposit. I went, and she was good at what she did. She didn't, I could say it wasn't a bad experience, but it wasn't a memorable experience either, right?
Mm,
That I
yeah.
had with her. Neither did I ever hear from her again. So
Mm,
I never heard from her again. And I was trying, somebody was asking me, like, randomly about that style. And I couldn't remember the girl. I'm like, I cannot remember her name.
wow.
Like, but
Yeah.
this is because she just, it was a one and done transactional thing. She
Mhm.
never emailed me. She never texted me. She never followed up to see how I enjoyed the service or anything.
Right.
I never heard from her again. So I forgot her name. So when the opportunity came to refer her, because I think somebody remembered like a picture I took with the style, when
Right.
the opportunity came to refer her, I could not remember her name. Like, you want people to remember you. You provide a service. So you want to make sure that they know that you want them to come back. Like, you want to educate them on when they should come back and set
Right.
the expectation should be when you come back, right?
Right.
When you
Right.
come back for your next appointment, that should be the expectation, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And you're bringing up such good points. It's like tip number one is like, follow up with your clients, shoot them a quick text after the service. How did it's like usually there's a conversation, they're going to an event, they have a significant other, or they have friends, or whoever it is, coworkers or what have you. It's like, throw that in there. It's like, well, how did your husband like your hair? It's like,
Right.
make it personal, and, that you really care about them, that you want them to have had a good experience, and that you want them to come back. I think it's such a key little thing.
It's
Doesn't
something
cost a
so
cent.
small, but I think it's something that we have to continue to mention, especially in our line of work as coaches, because so many times you see it not being done. People are not staying in touch, they're not following up,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not building that client relationship. You want to build a relationship with your client,
Right.
and you want to set that expectation. So, in order to do that, in order to build relationships, you have to stay in touch with people, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You have
This
to
is a
you have to
relationship
connect with
business.
people.
It's a relationship business. And so Simone got it. Tip number one, follow up with your clients. Yeah, it's such a key thing and such a simple thing, and it can get, lost in the mix of everything. But it's so important. And like you said, you didn't remember her name, but if she had been in your text thing, you could have, texted, scroll back and it's like, oh, that was her name. Okay.
Right,
So
right. Or even in the email, I could have been like, oh yeah, she just emailed me like her newsletter of the month or something.
right,
And I
right.
could have, gave it to that person. And it's so many missed opportunities. We have to think about it like just say for instance, if you go out with a guy and you have a great time with him, and you're like, oh my God, it was like that was the greatest day. We had so much fun. And then you never hear from him again.
Oh gosh.
Just never. Like he'll text you, he'll call you, he'll say, "Hey, Miki, it was a great time. I enjoyed being with you." You go feel like, dang, well, I guess I'm moving on. I guess he didn't have a great time like I thought.
Okay. That's
Right.
a
So
very
it's
good analogy. Very good analogy.
excuse me.
And I think, it's like we can't have this conversation without talking about the consultation, because that's kind of where you start the relationship and getting to know who they are. Not only, it's like, oh, I came in for this service, but it's like, okay, is their hair, face, skin, whatever service you provide, is it, is it suitable for that person? You're the expert, sharing your thoughts and feelings and what have you, and things that you see. It's like we're creative people. We see things, it's like, oh, her hair would be really cute if we did X. But a lot of times we don't open our mouths to say that. It's like, when I look at you, it's like, I think, it's like, wow, what if she had like, a few highlights through the front area? Is that something you've ever considered? Just really tuning into not only what's there and what they want, but what's possible for them and sharing that.
Yes. And I would say, like, okay, so the client consultation gives you the opportunity to prepare to make the proper recommendations for your client. And it gives you the opportunity to kind of understand what your client wants and needs are.
Right. Right.
Right. So like just really getting to understand like what are their goals when they, for their hair, the service that you're providing. And what are they, are they traveling soon? What are they planning? Like just kind of understanding like what their hair care process is like,
Mhm.
especially when they're new, like,
Right.
so finding out, are you coloring your hair? What are you doing? Like, how often do you treat it? What, getting to understand. And then as the doctor in the situation, the trusted advisor,
Mhm.
the service provider, the
Right.
expert in the situation, you can then give them your expert advice based off of the information they gave you and based off of the goals that they're trying to achieve.
Mhm.
So it's really great to, have an understanding and to do the consultation in the beginning so you can know exactly what you're going into and you can make the proper recommendations. I think that's just going back to getting back to being the expert, right? And
Right.
owning that because I feel like oftentimes people go to school and they get their cosmetology license, but they never own their expertise. Why do
Mhm.
you think that is, Miki? Like they never own it. So they never feel confident enough to give advice, confident enough to
Mhm.
be that trusted expert.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons. It's like confidence is definitely one of the things that's key, in building a relationship and setting boundaries and really, creating the creating the business that you want, because you have to be able to, sometimes have those hard conversations like, no, I don't think this is going to be good. Your hair is, I had a client she was traveling. She used to get really good hair care, but she was traveling um a lot, and she was a high lift blonde, and she wanted me to do a retouch on it, but that hair was like flaking off as I was sitting there. I wasn't even
Mhm.
touching it. It's like there's no way I could do this service. It's like you don't, your hair is not healthy enough right now. Your you won't be back because it's like you're going to be traveling all around and what have you. It's like, let's do, a conditioning treatment and do something where you won't be as blonde, but it's like you'll be in good shape and looking good. And it's like, and she was like, oh, okay. But it was because I was willing to say no, even if she was upset, or even if, because it's like it just wasn't the right thing to do just because she wanted it. And so I think building up those levels of conversation, I think even just going through the consultation with each and every single client each and every time, because people come in and it's like, oh, I just want my regular, and it's like, back to the bowl we go. But sitting down and seeing, is their hair still in the same condition? Is their scalp still in the same condition? Is there a trend that you saw? Maybe you attended a hair show, maybe you did a tutorial online or what have you. And it's like, you know what? I was thinking we should try X, Y, and Z. It's like you don't have those opportunities when you just get into a rote routine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay if they, say, no, I just want to keep it the same. It's like, okay. It's like maybe next time.
Right. And I think not doing a consultation, being afraid to have those conversations actually contributes to you not upselling behind the chair either. You know what I mean? Because in order to upsell, in order to, tell them maybe what they came in for, they may need more treatments, they may need a trim, they may need, different things. Instead of being afraid of that, just letting them know what they need. And even if they don't want to get it right now, you did your job by informing them and educating them on what they need right now. And that could be ways to always, increase your ticket. You should always be looking at what does this client need and how can I make this service better, and add it on just with a conversation, a recommendation, right? And because you're their expert, you should be confident to do it. And I think it just all comes down to the more you do it, the more confident you begin doing it. And that's why if you add in doing a consultation for everybody, I think doing a consultation for everybody will help you sell better too, because it'll help you understand what they need. And then you can make the proper recommendations, not just selling them something just because you're trying to make more money. No, but actually educating your client and giving them what they need.
Right. Because I think they come in with so many, and they give us so many clues and we don't pick up on it. Oh, wow, my hair has been so dry this time. It's like, oh, my scalp's been itchy. Oh, my, what, it's like all of these are opportunities for us to have an input to help them. And so it's not just selling them something for the sake of selling them something. It's like this person, what do I call it? Be the solution. And it's like, what challenges do they have? How can I be a solution for those challenges? And with the consultation, it's like I call it kind of like your hidden profit center. It's like everything that's going to happen is going to kind of transpire from the conversation that you have in the very beginning. So it's really, really important. So it's like I'll say that'll be tip number 2 is always do a consultation, find out where they are, what they want, what they don't want, all of those things, and see, how you, like you said, how can you add value to that? Yeah. So there was an experience that you had personally, and you were able to take your lash business from, where everybody else was charging $75 and you were charging 150 because of the experience that you created. Would you share some of, what happened that made you want to make some changes in your own business, and when you started it to really create an experience, like you say?
Definitely. So when I offer lash extension services and I taught lash extensions, one thing I realized is that it wasn't a comfortable process. You know what I say? Because I had my lashes done and my back would be hurting because I might be on that table for anywhere for an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours getting my lashes installed. So it could be, not comfortable. So when I started looking at different ways that I could level up my experience, the first thing I thought about was the comfort level of the client. So when I invested in my massage table, I wanted to get one that had a little bit more cushion. And that even wasn't enough for me. I added like even more cushion. Like I went to like Meyer or whatever and bought like mattress pads so I could give it more cushion. I added a few of those. I added a heating pad. I bought a leg lumbar and blankets and different things and specialty pillows, anything I could do to make it comfortable for the client. Also, what I took pride in is that I had my own suite. So it was I had a two-room suite, so it was a private suite. I played soft music. I was very conscious of the music I played, how it smelled. So I lit nice candles, or sometimes I did essential oils and things of that nature. I would set the light, like kind of dim. But then I would have a light over me so I could see, of course, but I would try to like make the, make it as, an experience for the client. And I think that was what kept clients coming back to me, was that I made them comfortable. Because so many people said, wow, I've never got the service done where I was actually comfortable. It was often uncomfortable. And I've heard stories from clients where they would say, like, they would be in an open salon and their eyes is closed, and they're patched up and they're laying down there in a vulnerable space, and they didn't know what was going on, so it felt very uncomfortable being in an open space. And I knew that this was a service that you wanted to be like kind of private, kind of like if you were getting a facial or a waxing service, you would want it to be like more private.
Mhm.
And so I tried to do everything I could to make it comfortable. I also provided my clients with little, I would make a lash shampoo,
Mhm.
and I would provide them with that. I remember I got labels like for the lash shampoo bottles on like Etsy or something. The lady did them for me on Etsy, and I had these little bags with lashes all over them, and I would give those out to my clients because I wanted to make sure that they were taking care of their lashes in between services. But just finding different ways to elevate the client experience.
Mm. That sounds, I mean, it sounds so relaxing that I wouldn't even need my lashes done. Can I just come and be here for a little bit?
Right. A lot of times people will fall asleep
Mhm.
and everything. And because I'm an esthetician, I would do like a mini facial just to get them relaxed. Because sometimes people would
Mm.
twitch a lot. So I would do it like a mini facial, and that would help them to relax a little bit and reduce the twitching and everything.
Wow. Yeah, it's like, but that's really like just really honing in, paying attention to, like you say, not only the big things, but the little things, like, the comfort level for sure. Because sitting somewhere uncomfortable for an hour or more is definitely not something you're like ready to sign up for.
Exactly.
But
My back used to be hurt. I'm like, I
right.
can't be laying on this hard massage table.
Yeah, yeah, but that, like you said, that made it an elevated experience, and people were more than happy to pay, a more premium price.
Definitely. And I would have people that would, go to the people down the road that were maybe less expensive, and then they would come
Mhm.
back.
Right, right. Yep. Because yeah, who wants to sit there, uncomfortable when they can go and just be taken care of? So, yeah, it's such a very important thing is like to create the experience. So it's like that would be my kind of number three tip is like really, create the experience for your clients based on, what's needed and also what's wanted. What is it that they might want that they don't even know that they want? It's almost like cell phones. It's like we didn't even know we needed them before they kind of put them in our hands, and it's like now we can't let go.
Right. Can't live without them, right?
Right, right. Yeah, and one of the things we were talking about before was um, how does a client feel when they're coming in for the first time? And I know I personally have moved and relocated a couple of times in my life, and finding a new nail person and finding a new dentist and doctor, it's like I feel very anxious going into that setting. Will this be a good experience? Will I leave with what I want? Will I just leave because it's like, no, this isn't a fit.
Right. Right.
And so there's a lot of anxiety sometimes that I think, when we're behind the chair and just excited about, having someone come in, that we don't really think about what they may be experiencing on the other side. So, what are your thoughts with how to make our clients feel welcome from jump?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds so simple, but always welcoming everybody that walks into your door with a smile is definitely, just welcoming
Right.
everybody with a smile and making sure that your guests feel welcome and they acknowledge people as they come into your space. And I
Hmm.
know that sounds simple, but how many times have you walked into a place and they didn't even look up at you or say anything to you, right?
Right.
Or like you had to go all the way to the desk for them to, acknowledge you, like, I'm here. I've had
Right.
that happen. But, trying to shift that and make sure you acknowledge people as soon as they come into your place, give them a smile, greet them, and let them know, they're welcome when they walk into your establishment.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the basics.
Right.
Especially if you're in business, and especially, it's like if you're there to service people, it would seem like you'd like people. And so,
Right.
it's easy to say hi. But I wanted to share too. It's like one of my experiences was with my last relocating. I had injured my back and I was under the care of a chiropractic doctor and would need a new one when I relocated. And I just found this person, just, one of those mailers in the mail that said, we do these kind of services or whatever. So I had no idea, what the experience would be, but I called, I spoke with him, and he kind of walked me through. It's like I only see new clients on these days because it's a longer appointment, which I was like, wow, that's something that we could think about for the beauty industry. Like, what is that new client experience like? Do we allot more time for it? Could we do it on certain days where it's like, this is our new client day? And, with going in, it's like it was a very thorough, like you could say consultation, but going through, what my previous treatment had been. It's like we did, kind of, I guess, x-rays and whatever else needed to be done. But it was all very focused on, me and my care going forward. And it was just like such a positive experience. It's like when I need chiropractor, it's like, guess where I'm going? It's like I never even went to any other person here, because I found that person. And I also found when I was coming back to styling and doing clients, it's like some of them were new to the area and looking for a new stylist. And, it's like I tried to create an atmosphere where they wanted to come back. And so for many, I have many clients who had moved here from a different area who had never been to another hairstylist besides myself. And so it's not rocket science, I guess you could say, to keep them
Right.
because they are out here. So whatever you want to add on to to that client.
Yeah, I love that because you had it was very thorough. You had a great consultation, and you felt like, and he even spent more time with you. And he said, he only take new clients on certain days, and I love that because I want to mention that again because that is a tip. So instead of don't take a new client on a Saturday or a Friday or a Saturday. Take a new client on a Wednesday.
Right,
Maybe
right.
that could be a new client day where you have a little bit more time. Maybe Wednesdays might be slower, or whatever day is
Mhm.
slower for you. That would be great. But I would say you want to create, a memorable experience, especially now with everything that's going on. You
Mhm.
want to make sure that people remember how they feel. People remember how you made them feel, right?
Yes.
So, how can you stand out? Sometimes it's just the small thing. So, when you first meet that client, we have to go back to thinking like, we're trying to win over that client. Like we want that client to come back. So we want to make a great first impression.
Mhm.
And not
Right,
just the first time, but every time. But we want to
right.
definitely make sure we make a great first impression. So start thinking about how you can do that, how you could go above and beyond to
Mhm.
make sure you're making a great first impression. You're making the client feel comfortable and you're taking your time with the client and really understanding what the client needs. Because I've done that too when I've had to get new stylists. I'm always nervous, like, oh, because we've all had bad experiences, right? So
Mhm.
put yourself in the client's shoes and think about, maybe you don't know where they come from. They may have had bad experiences,
Right.
and you want them to feel comfortable when they come to you. You want them to feel like they can trust you. So
Mhm.
anything that you can do to level that up is very important, especially now, because I think part of the reason is people are maybe a little slower is because they may need to level up their
Mhm.
client experience. They
Yeah.
may need to, kind of step up the way they take care of their clients
Mhm.
and staying connected and building relationship and treating your client like they're important because they are.
Right.
Because your client is your business. If you don't have a client, you don't have a business. Right.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I want to remind people of that because I think we forget that sometimes, especially we can go through periods where we're high in demand and people want and demand us and our services. So maybe we think like we're so high in demand, but no, there's plenty of people that do what you do. So they
Mhm.
can always find somebody else, but why would they stay coming to you?
Right.
Think about that. Why would they keep coming to you?
Mhm.
And you need to be thinking about that from the first time they walk in your doors,
Right.
to I don't know, every time they walk in your doors. Will they keep coming back?
Right.
Why will they keep coming back? And I want to make sure I do everything to make sure that they keep coming back. And just showing appreciation for your clients. and just
Mhm.
taking care of I
Sure.
always say take care who take care of you. Take care of you, so you gotta take care of them. And we just have to
Absolutely.
get back to that. I think if we get back to that, we can retain our clients and not even just taking care of them, but letting them not forget that we took care of them. Follow up
Mhm.
with them. Hey, I used to always get. I remember I got my reviews up really quickly, just because at the end of every appointment, I would like talk to the client and I would let them know how much I appreciate them and how much a
Mhm.
review would help them. And they're going to receive a text sometime tonight. And just go, and take a quick moment from me and leave that review. And do you know, I would say 90% of the people just will fill that text out just because I asked them at the end of the service.
I love that. I love that because, it's like these days reviews are important. And so
Mhm.
getting your clients engaged and actually getting that captured, that's phenomenal. So that's a side tip.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
You know,
ask for the
I would
review.
get them to do that, right? I would tell them, talk to them about it. At
Mhm.
the end of the appointment, you're gonna receive a text,
Right.
and they would get a text that I had automated to go out and just to and let them know I appreciate them, and to also just let them know, remind them to give them a text, and then I always followed up with
Mhm.
an email to see, how's everything going with their service, how are their lashes, do you have
Mhm.
any issues, especially if it's the first time, and then I remind them I had care things or certain things, like the gremlins, don't get them wet.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, you got your, but
Exactly.
yeah, you shouldn't get them wet in the first 24 hours, all types of things. So I would make sure that they were aware of that. It would be on my card, but I will also email them just to kind of remind them on how to take care of them.
Right. Yeah, that's phenomenal, and it's like it's no wonder that you're the marketing specialist, and, we're getting some great tips here. I wanna thank Simone, she's been putting all our tips up here, so I'm just gonna do a quick recap, and we'll continue on.
Thanks,
But,
Simone,
thank
girl.
you, Simone. Tip number 1, follow up with your clients. Uh-oh, I got the wrong one. Tip number 2, always do consultations with our clients and, possible add-on to the service at that time. Absolutely. And number 3, create a great experience for our clients. Yes, 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 and yes. And 4, if possible, take new clients on our slower days so we can allot more time with the new clients. Yes, that's such a great, because we know you only get one chance to make a first impression. And
Mm-hmm.
so, how that experience goes is um, can really set the tone for the whole rest of the relationship. And you mentioned, that first impression. Let's just take a few minutes to talk about image. How should we look and appear, for that first visit, or and every visit as we talk about, because you never know
Now,
when you have
I don't know. I might be the wrong person to talk to about this because
a.
Vicky. Well, see, so I feel like I come from where like you had to have on so many like pieces, far as your look had to be like a certain way
Mm,
in the cosmetic industry. So because
okay.
you had to look like, you could sell the product, right? So you had to be the product. So I never kind of understood people who were in beauty that didn't do beauty. Like I don't get it. But I definitely tell you it really makes a difference. It really does make a difference. Like your presence when you walk in the room and how you represent yourself really makes a difference. I remember I was working with a stylist and she was, becoming a salon owner. She had just been in a suite and she was
Mhm,
becoming a salon owner. And I asked her one day as her coach to look at what she had on, and I was like,
mhm,
"Do you think you look like a salon owner?" You know, and
mm,
she had on some leggings and a hoodie,
mhm,
some black leggings, a gray hoodie, you know, and she was like, well, I'm braiding here. I just want to be comfortable or whatever, blah blah blah. And she got very, she was a little insulted by that. But
mhm,
I wasn't trying to insult her. I wanted her to level up. Oh, the way she carried herself, because I told her when you enter a room, you want people to feel confident that you can provide their beauty services for them.
mhm,
So you want to look like a certain level of beauty, in my opinion. You
mhm,
should, at least be well put together. I'm not saying you got to wear dresses and high heels to work. No, that's
Right.
not comfortable. You definitely need comfortable shoes. You're on your feet all day. I get that. But leggings and hoodies, I think that's a little bit too comfortable.
Hmm.
That's too comfortable. And you want to, put on a little makeup, put on a little lip gloss, put some mascara on, do a little something, put a little effort into your beauty regimen, because you're asking your clients to do just that. You're asking them to invest their money
Hmm.
and with you, and get all these services done that you don't even use. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't get that. Um,
Right.
I know there's amazing people. I know amazing people who don't wear a lick of makeup but can do
Right.
makeup. I know amazing people who don't give a crap about their hair but they can lay yours. But at the end of the day, I think as a part of your branding package, you should look the part.
Got it. I think that kind of sums it up. It's like, I think, going, like you say, you're going to work. So it's like, be comfortable, and comfortable doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be heels. It doesn't have to be, a full face beat every morning, but, look like you at least like the beauty industry.
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you
So,
tried. I mean, like you tried, because I had to ask her, because we were just doing like this program, like preparing her for her next level. And I
hmm.
was asking her, like, you have clients coming in today and you straight up just got like the leggings and a hoodie on. Do you feel like you look like an owner?
Hmm.
And I never got a yes. I got a lot of other stuff,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think maybe that's a moment for us to reflect and not only like, do I look like a salon or do I look like a beauty professional? Do I look like the clients that I want to attract?
Right, right. That's the thing too.
Yeah, because
Yeah, and
it's really
that's
not necessarily so much about you per se, but it's like the confidence you exude and the um, level of comfort that your clients will have and the level of clients that you want to attract. If all your clients wear, leggings and hoodies, that's cool, but they may or may not be the ideal client for you to, like you say, level up your business
mm-hmm. Yeah,
on a
yeah.
regular basis. Yeah. Yeah. So let's do this number 5. And I think we have a bonus one for anyone that can stick around. But what about educating our clients? Because I think that and a lot is a missing component. And you shared a great experience with your daughter, and I thought that was really cool. Will you share some of that with us?
Yeah, yeah. So when my daughter was in high school, she was getting sew-ins. And and I wanted her to get like I wanted her hair to break off. So I took her to a young lady who was not the cheapest. She was actually quite expensive. But what I loved when I would be there at the salon waiting for my daughter was she took her through every step. Like, so when she completed the style, she told her when she needed to come back for a touch up,
Hmm.
and she explained what a touch up was. Like, I'll wash it, I'll cleanse your scalp, I'll tighten up the braids and do all the things. She also told her how to roll it at night and what type of rollers to use. So she
Hmm.
showed her, did a demonstration on how to roll it up at night and then to put a bonnet on to help keep the curls and everything. And she told her, well, what to put on it and what not to put on it and all of that. And I love that because, that was so thorough. And then when we got ready to check out, her receptionist was automatically like, okay, when is she coming back for her touch up? You know what I mean? Like, it
Right.
was just an expectation, like, okay, so I could do, she should come back in about 3 or 4 weeks for a touch up. We have this date and this day, which one works?
Hmm.
And we scheduled the touch ups like that. And I was like, I love that because I didn't know how to take care of it. I wasn't like, I didn't wear sew-ins and everything. So I love that we knew how to roll it, what type of rollers to get right after the appointment. We went and got some rollers,
Right.
and so I could make sure she had what she needed, and
Hmm.
whatever stuff she told me I should put on it, I made sure my daughter had it. And some of it we bought from her because
Right.
she had it there. So I think she had like the spray or whatever we should put on it and all this stuff. So, and that was upsells for her. So she not only got another appointment out of the deal, she also
Hmm.
got some product sales, and she definitely got a repeat customer because we definitely kept going back and making our touch up appointments and our
Right.
reinstall appointments and all of those things. So just like just remembering how to educate the client on how they can care for it, what they should be doing, when they should be coming. Maybe your client don't know that they should be coming back every 2 weeks for this, or they should be coming back every
Right.
3 to 4 weeks for this. Let them know that. Let them know what the maintenance
Mhm.
requires for their styles. Like
Right.
what will it require for them to keep the style up? They may need to wrap it. They may need to put a bonnet on it. Whatever they need to do, try to educate your clients. What's if they in between? What should they be using? Should they be using a
Right.
certain shampoo, a certain conditioner? But this is a great way to not only educate but also upsell and to provide a complete solution for your client.
Mhm. Yeah, and like you say, it's like the coming back factor is super high. Like, where's your daughter going after that experience? You know,
Right,
she's
right.
coming right back to her. It's like, okay, this is great. It's like I'm coming back looking good because she already told me how to keep it up, and I know it'll be a great experience. And so it's like you've created that repeat client that is the key to our business.
You know what I
So,
just thought about too?
mhm.
So you know how a lot of people are doing like the boho and the Gatsby braids, the ones that have that hair coming out.
Yeah.
Now, the synthetic hair can be harder to manage, and I guess the human hair handles better. So
Okay.
you gotta, so braids, because you're wearing them 4 to 6 weeks or whatever. A lot of what was happening was people were having issues with the curly hair messing up, entangling, frizzing, and not being able to manage it, but the braids still look decent. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I feel like that's an opportunity for education,
Right.
letting your clients know they need to put mousse on it regularly,
Mm,
letting them know how to take care of it, or can they add
right.
water to it, because when it's because it's synthetic, there's different things you can do to synthetic hair than human hair. So that's a educational moment. Like, I think a lot of people were talking about they didn't like that particular style or having issues with it, and some people switch the type of
Mm,
hair. But I think if they properly educated their clients on how to take care of that hair, it would
right.
have eliminated some of those issues. That was just something I thought about as we were talking.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, and those are the kind of things that make you stand out in your market too, where it's like, oh, if you're getting that, you need to go here. And that's like what you want because it's like those referrals. It's like for me, it's always easier to do someone who's already, almost feels like they know me.
Mhm.
So come on in. It's like, oh, so and so told me all about you and this, that, and the other. It's like, what do you recommend for me? That it's an easier journey when you become that go-to person. And then, it's like you don't have to worry about your books being filled and what have you. So that last tip was on educate your clients. That's number 5. And then I have one more before we call it a wrap today. I have, work with a lot of stylists and help them become, six-figure stylists, etc., to increase their clients and that type of thing. And work with premium pricing is one of the things I also teach, with my signature program. But sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes people get a little arrogant. And they get upset with people for asking for, a service at a certain price, or being shocked if their service is a certain price. And so, but then they have an attitude, which is where the problem lies. The client, I mean, not the client, but the actual stylist or service provider. It's like, well, why would you ask me that? Of course, I don't do this for that. And it's like, no, it's like, and there's just like kind of all this kind of back and forth energy kind of thing. And I encourage people to become aspirational rather than arrogant. Because, if we think about maybe a handbag or something that we want, or a pair of shoes or something, and we look at that price tag and we're like, woo, that is not in the budget right now. But that stays on our mind. And it's like, okay, as soon as I get that promotion, as soon as I, get my bonus, what is it, income tax comes through, whatever it is, I'm going to get that. And you want to be that person that, when they get that bonus, it's like, that's exactly where I'm going. They do exactly what I want done. And like you said, with your daughter's hairstylist with the sew-ins, it's like she's not the least expensive person. And it's like you pay it because you know that you're getting great work. And so if you have someone who may have to kind of save up for that experience, you want them to be willing and excited to save up for that experience. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, definitely. I think sometimes you ever heard vent up? Like you need to
Oh,
vent up.
yes,
You
yes.
know what I mean? I think you might have
I'm
said
so
that.
glad
Like,
you said
yeah,
that.
I think you might have said that, but vent up, like so I think sometimes what happens is because maybe we had been, charging prices so low, or maybe other people have been doing it and we feel some kind of way. So when a client comes to us, but that's not what it's about.
Right.
We have to remember, and we cannot forget who the client is to us and the importance of the client. And to always, treat the client with respect, and always be respectful. And like you said, we don't have to be arrogant about what we charge. If we charge higher than all the salons on the block or whatever, you better make sure everything that you do stands behind that. You don't have
Hmm.
to be arrogant about it, though.
Right.
You want to be humble, and you want people to come back to you. Like you said, you want her to want to save up to come to you. Like, I like her. I want to pay my XYZ to her. So when I'm
Hmm.
able, I will do that. And so, but I think sometimes we get caught up in, social media or the conversations that we're having with our peers, that
Right.
we forget that, we got to make sure the client is the most important, and we want to make a lasting impression in every area. And we never even want to come off arrogant. Like, I've even seen, like, some of the weirdest things, like where they're like trying to scold the client, like, the reason why I charge is what I charge is because of this. And it'll be coming up across the screen, and you'll be like, oh, okay, baby, all right. Like, that's a little violent there.
Right.
I've seen that, and that's not really necessary. Nobody wants that type of service provider.
Right.
So just remember that we don't ever have to be arrogant or anything. Let our work speak for itself. Always be humble. Treat people how you want to be treated. That's what I would say to that.
Wow. Well, that definitely sums it up. Absolutely sums it up. So I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. I want to thank everybody who's joined us live. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Simone, for being our note taker. It's like we
Yeah,
appreciate you.
thanks, Simone. And one thing, I have a freebie I'm offering. I have a free marketing guide. Connect with me on Linktree. All of my links are there. You can get the free salon marketing guide for some great tips. I update it every year, so we'll have some updates for 2024. But you would definitely download it for free. Check out my podcast at businessbeautynetwork.com. And she has the link scrolling there. But
Yep.
thank you so much, Miki. I appreciate you having me. And as always, and thank everybody, and let's stay connected. Have a happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays. Definitely get your free gift there. It's like go to her link tree, B Taylor, and grab your gift, and definitely follow the podcast. And I want to thank you guys. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for being here. And also want to just share, it's like if you are looking to become a six-figure business in any area, it's like I have free training that's available at mikiwright.com. And Miki Wright is just 1K, MIKIWRIGHT. So I am grateful that you guys are here and look forward to seeing you next year. And want to wish you a very happy holiday. It's like we will be here on the 2nd of January. So we'll be here the first and the third Tuesdays of the month at 1 p.m. So we'll look forward to seeing you then. And you can follow me on youtube.com/Miki Wright to see past episodes as well as interviews that I've done with Black beauty bosses along the way. And it's like I'll share my Black Beauty Boss cup, if you can see that.
Oh, cute.
So, yes, thank you all. It's like we want you to thrive, we want you to be prosperous, and we want you to make even more in the 2024 and really have a fabulous year. So, be safe out there, and we will look forward to seeing you soon.
Bye.
Bye.